Right. Okay.
Is that on?
Yeah. So we're
Okay.
live on Facebook. Oh no, we're not on Facebook.
No.
We're live on YouTube. So I want to introduce a very long-standing friend. Long-standing. She's been standing a really long time. Called Araya Sophia. No, not Araya Sophia. No, Araya. And seriously though, you've been creating a self-healing, what would you call it? A device?
Yeah, self-healing device. Yeah. Though, I mean, I don't know about the word device. That's the best word I came up for. I can come up for it, but really, it's a system. It's a self-healing system because there is no electricity, so it's not a machine as such. Do you want me to talk about that?
I mean, basically, it's amazing. I had a session last night, and I'm having, or 2 nights ago, and I'm having another session tonight. And you've got some really good testimonials on your website. Amazing testimonials. So let's have a look at it. It's called the I.
So I don't know if they can see it. Oh yeah, they can. It's actually
it's called the Araya Soma. And what is it? It's a frequency healing, because that's where the future of healing is.
No, it's absolutely nothing to do with frequency. So it's a self-healing system whereby I'm trying to think of the best way of explaining it. So basically, there's no electricity through the device. It's an optical device, right? And
are you there, Becky? Someone's watching.
Oh yeah, and so basically, it's a very pleasant treatment. You lie down for 45 minutes, and I place these little bracelets directly on certain acupuncture points, which are to do with whatever condition you have, of course. Though sometimes I can use bigger plates because, for example, if you've broken an arm or something like that, I can put the plate directly on your injury, or so basically, usually I use anything between 4 and 8 points. It depends what's wrong with the person.
Because you've had someone coming in with a broken arm, haven't you?
Yeah.
Had people coming in and out ever since I've been here for treatments. Yeah.
It works on absolutely anything, but it doesn't do any healing by itself. It's you healing yourself. Okay, so you can actually focus on the areas, whilst you're having the treatment, because what happens is you go into a really nice theta alpha state, alpha then theta state. And so when you're in that state, it's like a miraculous state. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen. It's called a miraculous state. So it naturally will put you in that state. So basically what happens is, as you lay down during the session, I bring the device so I can explain a little bit more how
we'll show you. So we're just going to talk about this device a bit, and then we're going to talk about something that Araya is really interested in, which is around words. I'm very interested in words.
So it doesn't really matter what this looks like. This is everything's made of very special materials. These are fiber optics made of a very special material. And at the end of each, you can see there's bracelets, and the bracelets have I don't call them electrodes because obviously it's optical. There's nothing to plug in. It's not electrical. So as you can see, these here. No, here. So these are like lenses, and I put those on specific acupuncture points relating to what is wrong with you, and they work by two. So then for example, that one is yellow, so then I put another yellow one on another acupuncture point, and then your light is being reflected in and out of those 2 points continuously, like in and out both ways. So in, out there, and then in, out there. And what happens is that during the treatment, your light starts to get more and more coherent. So essentially what that means is, as your light gets more and more coherent, then you start getting into a state of self-repair. So your body starts to, basically, the body emits light all the time, but I'm not talking about the aura. That's completely different. The aura, the aura is it's it's meant to be on the outside of
Yes,
your body.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is nothing to do with your aura, actually. It's all to do with your biophotons. Your DNA and your cells emit light constantly, called biophotons. And depending what biophotons it's emitting, it will tell you whether you're well or not well.
So that would go into your aura as well.
Well, this is a very physical device. This is really to do with the light inside of you. It's really nothing to do with your aura whatsoever.
Okay.
And then what happens is, as the session goes on, then your light becomes more and more coherent, and so gets into a state of self-repair. And the best way to explain it is, if you're not well, then your light will be all kind of like, like all over the place, like going up and down like this, yeah. But when you're
up and down,
yeah, like, but when you're well, then it's more of a very soft and nice sine wave, So basically, the minimum session, what I found, as long as you're mentally and emotionally sane, I'm sorry to say, if you don't have any emotional issues and if you don't have any mental issues.
Is there anyone left? Especially in Glastonbury.
Yeah, especially here in the climate retard central. But anyway, yeah, so usually, so what happens is, if you're saying, like, mentally okay, like you're sorted out mentally and emotionally, right, the minimum treatment you'll need is 4. But if your condition is really bad, the maximum will be 7 sessions. Okay. Now, if you do have mental issues, I've noticed that usually 1 or 2 sessions will do it. When I say mental issues, I'm talking about people that can't let go of certain things, in your mind, you can't let go. You're constantly, like something you're not letting go of. Like maybe you can't sleep, because, there's things in your mind. So I've noticed the maximum I've ever had to do for people that are like that is 2 sessions. Now, keep in mind that the mind is very fast to heal. The mind heals very fast. Yeah. The second fastest to heal is the emotions. Yeah. It's a bit slower, but the longest to heal is the body. But if the mind is in the way and the emotions are in the way, the body cannot heal. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're sane of mind on of emotions, then if it's not too bad, 3 to 4 sessions will do it. But if you're really bad, it'll be like 5 to 7 sessions. Amazing. Or something. So and then emotionally, I noticed it would take 1 to 5 sessions. People that are really, really emotionally, like, like really bad. Yeah. I had a friend that didn't realize he was that bad, and he cried for 4 sessions. Like, he was really seeing all these pent up emotions for 5 sessions. And finally, by the 6th session, he didn't cry on the first, but he cried for 4 after that. And then on the 6th session, finally, he I think he had tinnitus or something. He started to get better. So basically, I've done quite a few people now. I've been working with it for about 1.5 years. I developed that. I started developing that 3 years ago, and finally, well, maybe no more than that now, 3.5, 4 years ago. And about 1.5 years ago, I finally managed to make it work, because it took me a while to understand, even myself. It took me a while to understand how the whole thing was going to work. So basically, it's completely non-invasive, because it doesn't put anything into your body, and it doesn't take anything out. It's just your own light being reflected in and out. That is basically it. It's just that simple. Quite often I get people going, "Oh, is it on? Is it switched on?" Because they're so used to have, like, electrical stuff. So that it doesn't put any frequency in your body. It doesn't take out any nothing. It's just your own light. Obviously, it's still electromagnetic. It's still to do with your electromagnetic field, but it's to do with your biophotons, which is your own light, which is what your cells and your DNA emits all the time, and this is what it heals.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, and I've got some amazing testimonies. I mean,
she's got amazing testimonies, but if anybody wants a session at the moment, they'd have to come to Glastonbury, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because it's too hard for me to. I mean, I can't really travel anywhere. And then the thing is, if you're not that bad, if you're in Glastonbury for a week, I guess I could manage to give at least 3, maybe 4 sessions. But if you're really bad, then you'd have to be here 2 to 2.5 weeks really to receive the sessions, because with this device, it's not like acupuncture where you can come like once a week or once every two. It's not like that. It has to, the sessions have to be quite close together, because once you're in a state of self-repair, you don't want the body to fall back into bad habits. Now, of course, there's no miracle cure. This doesn't heal anything, as I said. It's you potentially healing yourself through it. The more willing you are to heal yourself, the quicker you will heal yourself with it. But the device on its own doesn't do anything. It's you, doing the healing. So the more willing you are, and of course, there may be things you need to change in your diet, on your whatever physical habits, maybe even the way you sit, the way you stand, and all that kind of stuff. Because even though this is quite miraculous, what can happen with it, there will always be changes that needs to be done, obviously, for everything to work. So
amazing. So what I'll do is I'll put the link for anyone listening and wants some more information. I'll put Araya's information down the bottom in the comments, and and we're going to talk about now. So thanks for sharing. That's really interesting. And she is giving me, because I've got a flare-up of ulcerative colitis at the moment, and I've got my second treatment tonight. So I'm having one whilst I'm here for every other day. So I shall report on that. And then also we were going to talk about...
Well, I wanted to talk about, because I'm a syncretist. Syncretism is probably the oldest. It's not even a religion, but all religions stem from syncretism. So when you look at for example, even if you look at Islam, for example, the original Islam is Sufism. It all comes from Sufism. Yeah, Islam is much younger. Originally Sufism is the original Islam. It's the same with Christianity. The original Christianity is the Essenes, and the original Hebrew Bible, is the Gnostics. So all that's been infiltrated and all that. But originally, all these texts, obviously, come from syncretism, which is all connected to Plato, really. Plato, Socrates, Socrates. So basically, syncretism is a mixture of everything, what I would call holy sciences. So obviously, astrology, numerology, etymology, which is a science of words. Just like numerology, obviously, is a science of numbers. And then I would actually include, which was never included in anything I've seen before, but I would definitely include physiognomy, because the way people look, you can tell a lot. You can read faces. But I'm telling you right now, I can tell when people are pedophiles. Even I'm telling you, you can tell when people eat babies, as well. Like their eyes. I mean, you can tell
pedophiles. Yeah, okay. Let's keep that subject out of it. But I hear you.
Yeah, but so physiognomy, you can read. I mean, if your intuition is working and you know how to read the face, you'll know someone in front of you if they're wrong, and you'll know straight away.
I've started reading people's faces a lot more in the last few years.
Yes,
and posture. I've always read posture.
Yeah, of course, posture, of course.
It's. I suppose it's like when I was looking on. Well, no, I better not say that. But when I was looking on dating sites, I mean, I used to think you can't tell a lot from somebody.
Well, you can,
but actually you can.
It's not just the eyes, it's even the everything.
It's everything.
Obviously, unless somebody's got cerebral palsy on their eyes all over the place, unless they've got that condition, there is something about the eyes being, they're not balanced, they're not in the right place, and all of that. I mean, I can tell, I'm very good at physiognomy. And then of course it would include also like alchemy. So yes, mainly the alchemy, astrology, numerology, etymology, physiognomy, sacred geometry, all that kind of stuff, all the holy sciences, And so etymology is very important, because if we know the words, for example, obviously we're in England, so we're speaking English, and English is mainly Greek and Latin, mainly, mainly based on Greek and Latin. But every word in English, you have to know where the word comes from in order to really understand what the word means, because otherwise this is how they get you with words. So for example, I just take an example, which is the word virus. So the word virus is a Latin word, which virus, virus, and it actually means poison. That's what it means. It just means poison. So it's nor dead nor alive. And, the only way to get poisoned, obviously, is through the air that you breathe, the water that you drink, the food that you eat, and of course, this, that's the only way to get poisoned. And I always tell people, what do you think happens when you're poisoned? And only two things can happen, which is one thing is I'm about to, because the carpet's gone all funny, and I can't.
Slight technical issue with the carpet.
Technical. So basically, if you're not well, then your body's got two choices. Either it doesn't get into a detox and it keeps the poisons in, right? So that means you're going to get cancer, or it will reject the poisons. Well, how do you think it's going to reject the poisons? Well, basically, what colds, flus, skin eruptions, diarrhea, all of that are detox, sweating, all of that are all detoxes. So, like the government has managed to tell people that, oh my God, when they've got a cold, like you don't want to catch it. You can never catch a cold from anyone. It's your own detox.
It never bothers me about catching anything.
But you can't. There's nothing
to
catch
anything.
But there's nothing to catch.
Yeah.
The point is, there is absolutely nothing. There are no diseases you can catch from anyone. There are, what's the word for it? Contagious. Contagion is a myth. It does not exist. We've all been poisoned for hundreds of years. Our great-great-grandparents were already vaccinated, so they carried that poison inside of them. And then your parents got it, then we got it as well as babies, from our parents. And then some poisons go into your pineal, some go in your heart, some, they go different places, right? All different heavy metals. And so eventually, sometimes if assuming your immune system is working, then your body will, at least once or twice a year go into a detox called the cold or the flu.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing that you do not want to suppress. You want to help it along, of course. Yeah, help it along with certain herbs or whatever to really reject as much as possible, not to suppress it, but to actually get more out of your system, And when people say, I haven't been ill for like 6 or 7 years, I'm like, well, you're going to get bloody cancer. You need, with all the chemtrails we're being bombarded with, all the poison everywhere now, in the air, the water, the food. If you don't get at least one cold a year, you are going to get cancer. I'm telling you right now. So
I need to get cold.
So this is why, like, every day I've got mucus coming out of me. I make sure every day I get a little cold every day, and a good way to help you as well is with tobacco up your nose, and there's various things you can do. But so there are no contagious illnesses. And, I was also born in the 60s. And then what used to happen at school, if one child didn't get what we call the chicken pox, or there is no such thing as the chicken pox, it's just a poison, maybe mercury or, a heavy metal that's been lodged somewhere. And let's say you're very healthy, and then your body's like, oh, right, there's all that poison to remove. So you're going to a cold, a flu, and to remove that poison. But what happens is called bioresonance. Yeah, by bioresonance, if other people around you, their immune system is also working, then let's say you're the first one to start detoxing because you're super healthy, your immune system works really well. So let's say I start detoxing. Well, I'm next to Liz. Well, maybe tomorrow, she starts having a cold as well because she's got the same poison, and now she's detoxing that poison as well. So at school, I remember if some children didn't get like the chicken pox or whatever that they call children illness, but it's just poisons that need to be removed, then we would stick a lot of the kids around those kids that weren't getting it, and then eventually would trigger their own immune system to kick into gear, So what they do with all these, and all that is it actually suppress your immune system, which means that you can never get a detox, and actually you're suppressing the very thing you need to have, which is a cold or a flu. Yeah. Now, it is true that if you're an older person, if you're, I would say, past 60 or something, and you're really poisoned, like really poisoned, like let's say you haven't had a cold or a flu for 6 or 7 years and you're very poisoned, and then you've had all that as well, then of course too many poison, let's say all of a sudden your immune system starts to work and you've got too many poisons inside of you, then it could very much affect your liver could pack up, and if you're really, really old, like 78, you're almost on your way out anyway, then that detox, the cold and flu, could potentially kill you. But that's only because you've not had a cold for 6, 7+ years, because it's been suppressed and your immune system is not working anymore. So it's not, so yeah. So
there are things you can take to support your immune system, and you could take chlorella and all sorts of things that would help remove toxins from the body. So it's not like it's not that there's no hope, there's always stuff you can take to support yourself in detox. Interestingly, my very good friend Catherine is looking to open a detox retreat spa in Ibiza. basically around detox. I mean, this is going to be sort of
Well,
high end.
this device does that as well.
Yeah, I was going to
This
say,
device will take all the toxins out of you. The more you have. Yeah.
I was going to say detox, I think is coming back, because I was always into detox, and I know you were. I've known you for maybe 15 years or something.
God, yeah, no, we met in 2009.
2009.
So, yeah, 15 years. 15 years.
Yeah. But I noticed that the whole sort of detox community of people around the world, it got very like everything was suddenly detox. And you know, when everything becomes so mainstream, it means nothing anymore. So I kind of avoided even the word detox. I mean, I've always been into saunas and, you know, but I really feel, and I know that Catherine feels this as well, but I think given the environment we're in and what's going on in the planet and everything in the air and the water and the food and everything, I think detox is going to be like highly like number one.
And also a lot of people don't realize, because I studied nutrition to a very high degree, so I wouldn't even describe myself as vegan. I do not eat any dairy. I do not eat any animals, of course, anything like that. And the thing that people don't realize is, if you eat meat, right, then it stops your own body from producing its own protein. The body is an amazing machine. It produces everything it needs, but one thing it doesn't produce is vitamin C and vitamin D. So you need to be out in the open to get your vitamin D. And this is why we're meant to be fruitarian, really, because all fruit contain vitamin C. So all we need is a bit of fruit every day. I mean, obviously, we're a far cry from that, because we've all been addicted to food. I mean, even for me, it's when I was in Mexico, it was very, very easy to be fruitarian. But I'm back here, so I'm kind of like, well, call it vegan or whatever. And I try to eat as raw as possible, but still eating a lot of fruit. So when the body is really clean, it will produce its own protein, its own sugars, everything. The body produces everything it needs. You do not even need to put anything in your body apart from vitamin C. And the minute you start clogging it up with dairy, meat, and all of that, your body it clogs your body, and it cannot produce its own protein. And this is why a lot of people that used to be vegan, and then they go back on eating meat, and they go, oh my God, I feel better. Well, of course you feel better. First, you feel better because you're having the blood, not your own blood, but the blood of an animal flowing through you. So it initially gives you a bit of like, feeling better, but that meat's going to clog you up anyway. And eventually it's going to kill you anyway, because it's not meant to be there. The body cannot digest any protein. It cannot digest it because it's meant to create it, not digest it. It cannot digest protein, full stop. It's meant to create the protein, not digest it.
This is very interesting. I'm going to have to put at the beginning of this video, the views on this video are Araya's.
But it's not a view, this is a fact.
Fair enough.
This is an actual fact. I don't do beliefs, I don't do views. I'm just telling you, as a nutritionist as well, that the body, actually, it's a well-known fact. All the nutritionists will be able to tell you that the body produces everything it needs. You don't need to put anything in your body.
Under ideal circumstances,
well, I'm never going to get ideal, but
not in the way the world's in at the moment. We're not.
But if you really care about your body, then you've got to look after your temple. The last thing you're going to do really is put any protein of any kind in your body. And I literally flip out when I go to shops, even for the vegans. I got protein bars. And oh my fucking God.
Oh, it's awful.
This is the last thing you want to put in protein.
Look what's in it.
No, but it's not even that. Protein, listen, I'm going to say in one word, okay? Protein kills you. That's it. End of fucking story. Protein kills us. And this is a fact. It's a very well-known fact. All protein kills us. The only protein that doesn't is the one that we produce ourselves.
Well, I know people that will have substantial evidence to
they won't. There is no way that they will.
No, I'm just saying.
They're going to think they have, but they haven't.
Yeah,
because if you study biology, the human body, even the biologists can't lie to you. They will tell you the body produces its own protein, and they will tell you that the body cannot digest digest protein. That is a fact. I used to be a colon hydrotherapist. Oh my God, you should have seen the meetings.
I know.
It was crazy. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, even my body is in a state of having to be detoxed as well, because even the vegan diet is shit. Especially the vegan diet where people eat a lot of.
Oh yes. Yeah.
To me, a good vegan diet is plenty fruit, plenty raw salads, but salads, you want to limit the salads as well, because we're not meant to eat vegetables either. We're not meant to eat any vegetable. Look, it's very simple. The only thing that the human body is designed to eat It's fruit. That is a fact. We are only meant to eat fruit. But of course, most of us are a far cry from it because we're addicted. I'm addicted to, certain things I like to eat. Like I love salads, I find it very hard not to eat salads. Oils are extremely bad for you because even the best organic coconut oil or the best organic olive oil is not good for you. Why? Because it's an extract. It's not the whole thing. So what I tell people, if you're going to have olive oil or, in your salad, make sure there's olives in the salad as well. If you're going to have sesame oil in your salad, make sure there's sesame seeds as well, because the body cannot recognize olive oil. It cannot recognize any oils because it's an extract or something. It's not the whole thing. So with the oils, if you're having, let's say, sesame oil and you put sesame seeds in your salad, the body will recognize the sesame seed and start producing whatever chemicals to break it down. And then, of course, at the same time, it will break down the sesame oil because it's part of the sesame that's already there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
This is a fact.
Yeah, very interesting. And we both said to each other, we've known each other since 2009.
Yeah.
And we've both said to each other that we haven't aged or changed in 15 years.
Yeah. How old are you again?
63.
Yeah, I'm 58.
58. Yeah. So whatever we're doing something. We're doing something to help. But I love to hear your views. I love your passion always. And it's very interesting.
But it's not even a view. This is I don't. This is the point. I don't do views. I will never do views. I don't do beliefs. I hate the word belief. There's lie in the word belief anyway.
Well,
it's not about belief. I don't care what people believe. There is the truth and there are lies.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you the truth. You cannot deny what I'm saying. You can try. You can try and deny. You can deny it all you want, but I can show you the scientific proof that the body actually produces its own protein and that it actually absolutely cannot digest any protein of any kind, whether it's from vegan protein or whether it's from meat protein. It cannot digest it. The body actually, in order to be able to utilize the protein you're eating, it has to turn it into amino acids. So why eat the middleman? Why eat the flesh of an animal when the amino acids are in all the vegetables and fruit that we have, as long as it's raw, of course, because if you cook your food, you destroy all the amino acids.
Okay, well, that's very interesting.
So, this is the point. But even vegetables are good because it's glucose. And the body doesn't really recognize glucose. I mean, the body cannot handle too much glucose. But again, when people say, well, I bought some fructose instead of sugar, it's just as bad.
Yeah.
Because it's an extract. It's an extract.
Yeah.
And with anything, people like, I'm going to eat this, but as long as it's the whole plant, I don't know. Let's say you wanted to have like hemp in your diet. Don't have hemp oil because it's an extract. Don't have an extract that comes from the seeds because that's an extract. You want the whole seed, the whole hemp, the whole plant. You don't want any extracts. The human body absolutely cannot recognize any extracts. And the only way for it to be able to digest the extract, you need to have the original thing with it, as I said, like with sesame seeds.
I've had the most amazing 2-hour massage today from lovely Richard, and I'm very mellow, and I'm just enjoying listening to all of this.
Anyway, she stopped coffee today.
We bought some of this.
Thanks,
I stopped coffee today.
I told her you got to fucking stop because you're never going to get better. Coffee.
I'm not a latte sort of woman. I've never done latte.
Coffee is the most acidic. It's even worse than alcohol. Coffee is like people don't. I had to give my stomach. This is how I got my stomach also, not just from emotional bullshit, but also because the coffee was eating my stomach away. It eats everything away. It's lovely. Acid. It's pure acid.
Lovely, jubbly. Anyway, so this is my new lion's mane latte that I actually had with
there's no caffeine,
cream in it, no caffeine. So, darling, thank you very much. If anybody enjoyed any of that, or has,
and then you can. This is the.
Oh yeah. So the first part of this this little conversation we had tonight was about Araya's healing device. So if anyone is in Glastonbury and wants to have a session, do get in touch. I'll put her details below. And whatever you are up to tonight, this is the sort of thing we talk about. you know, it's nice knowing people for a long time because you go through all the funny stuff that happened, you know.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about flat Earth next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Turn everybody off flat because when the truth is blatant, you cannot, you know, it's not possible to. Yeah, that's because there's a lot of people out there.
I love you.
There's a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, the Earth is flat," but they're shields. So then they tell lies about the flat Earth, and then people, you know, yeah, it's a lie, but it's not, and I can prove it. I will turn.
She's got a lot of you got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I've got.
Yeah. She's got
she's Gemini rising. There you go.
Thanks, darling.